everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would just talk about something that I've seen on my sort of feeds the past few months, so it's probably a bit longer than a few months, but it basically comes back every now and again, and that is about Conor Maynard and his paternity battle. Now, you may not know who he is. He is a singer from the UK. He had his hit sort of, I want to say around the 2012s. That's the one thing I didn't look up. Had a number of songs around that time, and as some people do, I mean, I listened to those songs, but for me, it's the kind of person that just disappears into the background because I don't keep up with them. They sort of come into the mainstream and then you move on. But yeah, it's just about that and our thoughts on it. So here we go. I just have some notes here on my phone because my memory is just awful. So yeah, basically over the past year, if you weren't aware, Maynard has been involved in a paternity battle with someone that he, I guess, hooked up with, called Charlotte Clinton. Now, she was on the Traitors TV show. I'm not sure if that program has got overseas yet, but I've also never watched it, so don't tell anyone I know. But she was from that TV show, and they hooked up at some point, and she basically found out she was pregnant and has since had a baby. Um, so it's actually been two paternity tests in this poor child's life. I'm not sure if the baby's about a year old now or give or take about. Um, but yeah, there's been two paternity tests, and both of those have come back that he's not the dad. Now, there's sort of rumblings online of people saying the baby looks like him and, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Which, I mean, for one, this poor baby is going to see all these articles, potentially see, I don't know if we're going to, things will look like in the future, but by the time this baby's old enough. But, this poor little baby will just see these things in the future of what's happened and it being in all the press. And it's just not nice, is it? But, yes, they had the two paternity tests and he was not the father. But Charlotte is back, and she is adamant that Connor is the father and has given her reasons and, I guess, findings of why that is. Um, so there was a recent interview that she's done, sorry. Um, and basically she's insisted that the both of the results that say that Connor's not the father are wrong. Um, and that he is the father, and there's no doubt in her mind that he's the father. Now, obviously, you kind of want to go off what the DNA test says because DNA is DNA, I guess. And again, I don't have any stats on this, but there's going to be times when it is wrong. Whether that's the same in this case, I don't know. I'm not a professional, but I would just take it as face value and, that he's not the father. I mean, I guess there could be some pure coincidence if the baby does look like him, but I feel like as you grow up, you do really, obviously, you change a lot anyway. So, and some people look like their mom, some people look like their dad, some people are just a literal merger of both their parents. So, for me, for example, I believe that I look more like my dad, as I was always told that when I was sort of 9 or 10, and I hated being told that because what girl wants to be told that they look like their dad? Now, there's obviously nothing at all wrong with that, but I think it was just more from embarrassment. But that's a thing for another time. So, yeah, I've got a quote here, what she said, so I'm just going to read it. So, in the interview, Charlotte said, I have researched and researched trying to find the answers because I know for a fact that the only person who can be my daughter's father is Conor Maynard. She explained, after speaking to experts, I have found out that what might have happened is I could have been carrying twins, but lost one very early. Then strange genetics come into play, which means that the twin could have taken certain DNA, so her father could never show up on a paternity test. It is something called, I'm going to butcher this, I'm so sorry, chimerism or chimerism, Chimerism, for those who want to look that up. Now, obviously, I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it. That sounds absolutely crazy, like, doesn't it? It sounds like it doesn't sound real. But obviously she's consulted with people, and I'm not saying it's not real. I just want to clarify that. I just mean that just sounds absolutely nuts that, obviously s- sad to begin with that she could have had twins and obviously only ended up with the one baby, but that the fact that I could also do that and change DNA, like that just seemed absolutely mental. And yeah, really need to look into that more because that, on one side just sounds really interesting to like understand what that actually means and does. Um, but yeah, so that's basically the reason she's given. Now, with that in mind, then, if that is the case of this DNA being taken away or whatever, there's just never going to be an answer. Like, can there ever be an answer? I don't know. Like, there wasn't really any more information on what can happen. But I just, you know, do feel sorry for everyone involved because obviously Charlotte wants the answer and she wants to know, and she has every right to know. And I can't imagine the mental toll that it actually takes when, you know, only that was them two that got together. Only they know. They may have different versions of a story, people do. But how do you move on from it? I think that's just so difficult. And obviously, the paternity tests have said he isn't the dad, and he can go off and do that. Um, but yeah, where do you go from here? I just hope that Charlotte can find some peace, and I just wouldn't want that to like just affect either the bond with her baby or just the future years ahead. Because obviously, you want to enjoy yourself, watch your child grow up, and not have this hanging over your head. And I can't imagine, when the day comes and your son or daughter comes to you asking about other family members, like, what do you even say at that point? It's just so difficult. Um, so I do really hope that she can find some peace and live a great life and enjoy all the new milestones that she'll have with her baby. But with saying that, what do you guys think? Have you seen this story? Do you haven't like what are your thoughts? I honestly don't know where to go with it now, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and the main reason I want to talk about it was because of the whole DNA thing and it being like absorbed or taken away. If there was a potential of the twin of a reasoning. So thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, just thought I'd do something a little bit different. It literally came up on my feed, as I said, and I just thought, wow, like what on earth? This is crazy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. If there are any other videos or topics you'd like me to cover or have a look into, let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.